My name is Roberto Tellez. I come from Los Angeles. Originally, I was born in Mexico City in Distrito Federal, which is the actual city. And I do mixed media work. I do a little bit of everything. When I first started doing artwork, I was just doing graffiti art since the age of 12 years old to the age of 25 years old. So I dedicated my whole, pretty much more than half of my whole life to graffiti art. Then I started doing Aztec dancing, and Aztec dancing took me to a different level that I would have never reached if I would have never ran into it. I started doing more of leather work, leather braiding. Leather braiding. I started doing taxidermy work, which is working with animals, drying them, and pretty much preserving them instead of me throwing them back in the earth or just people throw birds away. What I'm doing, I'm preserving the bird and keeping it alive forever, because there's an energy. Every bird, every animal has an energy with them, and it's like we're similar to animals. We are animals. It's just that we're on a different frequency. I've been doing a lot of feather work, which is plucking out a lot of the body feathers and like doing designs with it. Sometimes you work with a couple thousand feathers at a time, and I started doing everything: headdresses, and started doing clay work, stone work, working with like jade, with obsidian, working with coral, working with like abalone shell, working with well, the amber, you name it, any kind of stone. It could even be concrete. I know how to carve it out. And pretty much anything that could be done, we're doing. And who knows in a couple years where we're gonna be at. Whatever we're doing right now is gonna be already old for us, but it's still good to preserve for our children. So when our children, they get older, they'll be able to take it to the next level. Like in the direction that I'm heading into, I'm more into preserving the culture and teaching my son and teaching his friends and teaching as many kids that want to learn this kind of work, or as many adults, teaching them and kind of bringing that back from like almost being extinct around the world. I'm not only speaking on this part of the world, I'm talking about around the whole world. It doesn't exist no more.
This is what I'm wearing. This is as an example of the tradition. This is what the dancer uses in the traditional way to attend the ceremonies. Like you see, the dancers, they have different types of regalias. We call regalias because we don't like to call outfits, right? They're more sacred for us. So all depends what kind of materials we found around the house to create our regalias. But the main thing in the regalias is the motifs they have in the regalias. Each thing has a different symbolism for us. That's special meaning. The feathers that we're wearing, and they come from different birds. And by the way, we don't kill the birds to get the feathers. We go to a molting season. We get a full grow, and that's the way we try to preserve the birds. And these dances are religious, traditional dances. This is the way we do our praying from our ancestors, the way our ancestors teach us to do our praying to the universe. Praise the universe, for the grateful that we are in this earth.
Like with the Mexicayo way of thinking, the lifestyle of the Mexicas, it started like making more sense to me. Why was I having all these visuals in my mind when I go to sleep? A lot of colors, and where are these colors coming from? Well, it was just a sign from my ancestors letting me know that it was time for me to grow, and it was time for me to humble myself and live my life more simple. because simplicity is the hardest thing to live nowadays. Because we live such a rapid life, such a fast life, that we only comprehend what's fast. And what's simple, it's just like, why you want to be simple? So it's like simplicity is the best way to live it. That's what kept our ancestors alive so many thousands of years. If you look at the way that we're living now, you got kids at the age of 13 years old, like extremely obese, having heart attacks, strokes at the age of 13. Like, what is really happening to us? Like, what is happening to us as humans? Like, we're not comprehending ourselves no more. We're too busy trying to duplicate our lifestyles like somebody else is living, without even caring about ourselves anymore. We're just trying to fit into everything else, but we're not trying to fit into ourselves. There's been a lot of weird scenarios down with me doing the taxidermy work, like the smell with the animals, and then some animals are rotten and you're just like, you just don't want to do it, but it's like you feel like you have to because people just throw them away. I've busted a trade with one of my friends about a year ago. He gave me about 140 birds, and he didn't keep them in the freezer. He kept them in the regular fridge. So he had those birds in 6 different bags. So there was one bag on top of another bag. But I noticed like it was like how they do the liquor. What do they call it? It was fermenting inside because the bag was like full of air. So I brought it home, threw it in the freezer right away, but without me opening them. And I was with my roommate that he does Aztec dancing also, so I was like, come on, you gotta help me out, Here's some scissors right here, and this is the way we're gonna work these. So when I opened the bag, it smelled like, I don't even know what it smelled like. It smelled so that it was horrible. And we're pulling out all the birds, and it was some beautiful birds in there, but the smell, I had to get a big bucket of lavender soap and dip all the birds in there and let them sit there for like 3-4 days. And then I pulled them out, and they were still smelling like they couldn't get them out of there. So what I did, I plucked as many wings as I could, as many heads. I couldn't take no more body feathers because they were stinky. And we still use them up to this day. And every time that I see my friend and people tell us, oh, well, I like your headdress, they look so beautiful, I look at him and he looks at me, and we're just like, only if you knew what we went through just opening up that bag right there.